Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about the exponent rules today. These are the laws of exponents. If you look them up online or whatnot, um, these will make you get faster, and these are the shortcuts that we keep referencing in class while we've been expanding until we understand. Now, if these rules mess with your head or you get lost, one great thing is that about all of these exponent rules right here, these four right here, these are on the formula chart. This one is not, and neither is this one. So the only one that you really, truly even need to know that's not on the formula chart is this one. Because for this one, if you expand, you will definitely understand and you will only have to use one of these properties and not worry about anything else and remembering anything extra. So just know this one because everything else is on the formula chart. So we're going to go through each of these properties one at a time. And the first one that we're going to go over is the product properties. On your paper, it's called, and on your formula chart, it's called the product of powers because you are going to be multiplying these two variables that have powers. And you'll notice that they have the same exact base. So I want you to make sure that on the front of this flap, you write same base, and they're on the same level. So same base, and I'm writing really big, so it's not going to look like it, but same base, same level. And what ends up happening is your exponents are being added together. And we had already not started noticing that trend in our last couple of videos. So for example, if I were to expand this one out right here, if I have x to the fifth, that is 5 x's times 7 of them. And frankly, that's a lot, especially if I go more than any of these numbers. All I'm going to be doing for the entire time that I'm learning this unit is writing all of these variables. So instead, what I can do is I can use the trick, which is our law of exponents, and apply our product property right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that A, you can see, and B, because when Samji is getting old, she can write a little bit better on this. So this right here is how you would show your work that you've used the property. It's x to the 5 plus 7 power, which gets you x to the 12th. And that is your final answer. And great thing is you already had that when you expanded that out. You had 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next up, if you've got something like this, g squared times g to the 4th, that's 2 plus 4, which gets you g to the power of 6. If you see something like this, please, please, please do not forget that there is a 1 for an exponent there. So this one right here, you're going to see a whole lot more of for the rest of your algebra career. So you need to remember when you've got something with just 1 for an exponent, that we don't write the exponent, but that it's understood to be there. And of course, 1 plus 8 gives you 9. So that right there is our product property. Now, something that always gets confused with the product property is this one. This is the power of a power. We've got one base, but doubled the exponents. So what ends up happening is you've got this x to the m right here that's going to expand out n times. And really what ends up happening is that we multiply our exponents together right there. When we're right next to each other with this parenthesis as the only thing in between it, you multiply them together. So if we were to expand this out right now, we would do x squared times x squared times x squared. And if we were to still expand that, we would have a couple of more. It'd be x times x times x times x times x times x. And some of us, well, we don't have time for that, y'all. So all we have to do to show our work is 2 times 3, x to the 2 times 3. which is really just x to the 6th. So using our power of a power property, again, this one is on your formula chart. It's the only thing that you have to know is understanding when you're applying this property. So this one, it's 7 times 4, which is going to get us f to the 28th. Same thing here, 5 times 2, which is going to get us c to the 10th. And that would be our final answer. Make sure that if you are doing the work that you show your work so that even when you're going back, whether it's on the test or whatnot, that you can see what it is that you did. Because we don't remember what we do sometimes, y'all. Now, here is the double whammy. This is power of a product. So what it does is it is essentially using the other properties that we already have. So I want you to write on here, and I'm going to write it really big so you guys can see it. Share the love. Oops, here. Let me put it here instead. So I'm going to write share the love on here. And that's really what this is. This one is not on your formula chart. And I'm going to put FC for short. At the end of this video, you'll see what I want your notes to look like. So you can also look at that and give you an idea of how big you want to be writing this stuff. And this one, as long as you can expand, you will definitely understand. So just expand out. Now, what's going to end up happening is our rule just says that we're going to put that m here and we're going to put it on top of here. It's kind of like you're distributing that exponent. So this 3 ends up being multiplying to each of those. So you've got x to the first times 3, or to another third power, which is just 1 times 3, and that's 3. Same thing here. So you have the same exponent. If you are trying to show your work, so when we've got something like number 2, what I want you to do is you can either put each of them to the 5th power, so you can see how that's being broken up. And then you get j to the 5th, k to the 10th. Another way that you can show your work is if this right here messes with you, then the other way you can do it is r to the 7th right here, where we're going to be sharing the love of that 8. And we're going to do 7 times 8, and s to the 4 times 8. And then what you just apply our power property, power of a power, that we learned in this last one. And we're going to go ahead and multiply these exponents, which gets you r to the 56th and s to the 32nd. And I am so sorry for that noise. That is Ash and Jax trying to get in because they just can't stand that we're doing math in here. All right, so we are going to move along, and this is going to be to the bottom side right here of our notes. And we're going to work on the quotient property. This one is similar to the product property. Product, you multiply. Quotient, you're dividing. They're opposites. When we were using the product property, they had to be on the same base. They had the same base, but they were on the same level. On this one, you'll notice they have the same base, but they're on different levels. And because they're on different levels, you're going to find the difference of those exponents, and you're going to subtract m minus n. Now, I am going to break the rule right here in this quotient property. I want you to think of tug of war. And I want you to let the highest and largest exponent win. So, for example, right here, we've got 7 and 3. Our 7 is stronger, so we know our answer is going to be on the top of our fraction. And we're going to do 7 minus 3 as our exponent, which gets you x to the 4th. And that would be your answer. And using that same property in principle, we could do this one very easily and see that it's going to be v to the sixth. Now, here is where those nasty test takers and pretty much every other mathematician disagree. You don't want to have negative exponents. In mathematics, yes, we use negative numbers because it's a part of life, but we do not like negativity. We are good vibes only people here. So, what we would do, and what I would rather have you guys do, is look up for the stronger one right here, which is the 15, and use your exponent, your quotient property down here, and do 15 minus 8, which would get you 1 over p to the 7th. And this would be your final answer. The test taker people, yeah, you see, they don't like math or don't understand it maybe. Shh, don't tell them. They'll give you this as an answer choice, but they're also going to make you apply the rule, and they are going to give you another option. So it's going to be p to the 8 minus p to the minus the 15. You're doing the top minus the bottom. And you know that's going to get you a negative number. And this is going to be one of your answer choices. Mathematically, it is extremely, extremely rude, but they're going to give that to you as an answer choice. And I want you to look out for it. I want you to know that that could be an answer choice and understand it. If this is an answer choice, then our original proper polite answer of 1 over p to the 7th will not be one of your answer choices. So even though these are both the correct answer for number 2, they will not occur on the same problem. So just know when you're doing this that you can have either or as an option. And I will give you problems like that. So here it is. We're applying our negative exponent rule, which, by the way, this is on your formula chart too, by those test taker people that say, hey, instead of negative m to the negative m power, we're going to have it 1 over x to the positive m power. They're going to do that to y'all. Now, don't ask me why. I just work here, and every other mathematician disagrees, but here we are, y'all. So here are the examples, and you'll notice that number 3, we had put in a 5 over there. And all you're doing is it's switching sides. Remember, if it is not a fraction, make it one. So this one right here, it's not a fraction. So we're going to make it one. This is sad, so it moves to the bottom, moves to the other side. And now you have x to the 4th on the bottom of your fraction. And since there's only a 1 left, so you only have 1 times, that's it. It's just 1. And that would be your final answer. Now, in this one, the bottom exponent right here, it's already in a fraction. It's sad, so we're going to move it to the top. And you have u squared times 1. Well, anything times 1 in itself. So u squared is just your final answer. Now, here is where they are going to try to mess with you. They're going to try to make you think right here that this exponent right here means, oh my gosh, it's going to apply to all of them. But it doesn't. It's only applying to this a right here. That exponent of negative 7 is with the a. Now, this is not a fraction, so make it one to begin with. You're going to do 1 times 5 times a to the negative 7th. But that a to the negative 7th is sad, so we're going to move it to the opposite side. We've got a to the 7th on the bottom, and 1 times 5, which is 5. And this would be your final answer. Again, they try to trick you. Don't let them. You guys are so much smarter than that. All right, so let's go ahead and do our 0 exponent now. And this one right here, this is the one that is also not on your formula chart. So I want you to write down this is not on your formula chart. And again, I'm putting FC for now to go ahead and have it shortened. Um, you guys know what the zero exponent rule is because we've talked about this. We put our favorite number to our calculator and put it to zero power. And you can check this one on your calculator, which is why it's okay that it's not on the formula chart. This is the only one that you really need to know outside of that formula chart. There we go. That's a better start. And anything to zero power is 1. So x to the zero power is 1. F to the zero power is 1. And now you might think this is 1. It's not. This is how they're going to try to trick you because are they are not only expecting, but they are planning and definitely depending upon you missing the 7 right here. You have to remember that this is saying 7 times w to the 0 power. So it's only this part right here that's equal to 1. And so it's 7 times 1. And 7 times 1, well, y'all know that. That's 7. So the answer for this third one is 7 and not 1. So be careful for these tricky problems. They try to mess with you. You will have them on your test like that. Be ready. You're smarter. You can do this. Right. So here is what your final notes should look like on the front. And now typically we don't do this, but especially for something so important as the law of exponents, I want you to remember these different things. So for example, same base, same level for the product property. For your quotient property, it's same base, but it's a different level. Different level, different sign. So you're going to be subtracting. Same base, same level, you're going to be adding. For power of a power, it's going to be double the exponents. So it's going to be 2 parentheses 3. The exponents are going to be right next to each other. For negative exponents, just remember that they're going to try to mess with your head. Please don't let them. Remember number 2. Right? And then remember that power of a product. This one is not on your formula chart, but just please expand. If you expand right here, you'll be fine. You will understand. You will definitely understand. And anything to the 0 power, of course, is 1. So make sure that your notes at the end of this look like this. Come in with any questions and be ready to use your resources like the formula chart when you come in.